Won't make it matter, got good things, got you. Oops, and everything, get back, never get back too soon. Bloodstains make confusing patterns, they lead me to you.
Brendan the Blind Guy here.
Oops, and everything, get back,
Hallelujah!
never get back too
The
soon.
night is on my side tonight because I'm talking to the originals in Aussie rock and soul, the Rubens, about, well, Switchblades and hoops and everything to do with their music and live shows. How are you guys?
Very good, thank you, man.
you.
That was the best intro we've ever had.
Yeah, there were layers to that. There was a lot of hidden meaning, and it was impressive.
Oh, thank you. Well, yeah, I was working on that on the way. I'm like, let's see if I can come up with a catchy pun. So, yeah. Okay, so tonight we're hanging out at the Opera House. It's you're performing in celebrations of your new infectious rock and soul single, Million Man. So, what can we expect at the show tonight? And for people that haven't experienced the Rubens show, run us through what you guys bring to the stage.
I would say that tonight you're going to hear, I mean, if you haven't been to our show before, you know, that's okay, because we've gotten heaps better over the last 5 years, and I think they're actually pretty decent live now.
Yeah, we're getting there.
We're getting there. But like, yeah, we're going to play a bunch of stuff that people haven't heard before. So anyone who's listened to our, you know, old records, they're going to hear that maybe hopefully their favourites from those last two albums. But we've written a new one, and that's going to come out soon. So the point is that we're going to be playing 5 songs, I think, that people will have never heard, unless they came to Brisbane or New Zealand. Or New Zealand.
Sydney people, they've never heard
the
it.
5th time we've ever played these songs.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, well, that answers one of my questions. Good. So tonight is a bit of a teaser for an upcoming album, number 3. Oh, awesome. So for tonight, you're to preview new songs and to celebrate Million Man. What's the song about?
Elliot penned the lyrics for this one.
Uh,
We can keep those.
The song itself is just about a guy pursuing pleasure and through debaucherous means, I guess, kind of thing. Just like living his life in a way that pleases him, and kind of he has a moment of questioning himself and whether his actions are alright, whether he's hurting himself or anyone else, and then realizes no, he's not, and he'll keep on living the way he is. It's a story. It's not a real thing. It's just a character made up in a thing, and that's usually what we do. We don't really write personal things. Yeah, we're too sensitive.
Fair. Okay, so you've teased me with the fact that a new album's coming out soon. So you got to give me a bit of a heads up. What movement are you? What direction are you going in with the new album, and kind of what can we expect? Because I'm very keen.
I think we wrote the song Hoops at the end of making that second record. So that was well and truly after we'd written the rest of that album. And it was almost like that song was in between our last record and the record we've just written. And so I guess that song was the direction that we were heading at the time, and that's where we've ended up. I think Hoops kind of represents that. It's a bit more stripped back. I mean, obviously Million Man is quite... it's a big song. It isn't exactly stripped back. It's actually quite huge, and there's huge layers to it. But the rest of our album does have that space to it, like My Gun did, and Hoops and Lay It Down and stuff. And so I think, yeah, I'd say that we've gone in the direction of Hoops, and it's not necessarily just because Hoops was the most successful song we ever had. That was where we were going anyway, and just that, luckily enough, that was the one that did really well. So yeah, I think that's where we're going. It's pretty rhythmic and stripped back and cool, I think, and we worked with some hip hop producers, so that's helped us along in that way.
Alright, so yeah, you mentioned Hoops being a massive success, which went straight to the top, number 1 in the Triple J Hottest 100 for 2015, I think it was. Which then rocketed you to the top, and since then you've been headlining the Horden Pavilion, other arenas like that, and you've released 2 albums so far. The first going straight to number 3 on the ARIA charts. So what's been the biggest highlight for you guys out of everything? And nothing too cliche. Come on.
This is kind of a cliche, but it's topical. I think hopefully we're going to be making one of the biggest highlights tonight.
Yeah.
Just because the Opera House, everyone's like saying to us like it's going to be amazing. The Opera House, like I was like, yeah, should be good. And then I turned up and I was like, holy shit, because I've never been in that room before. And when we turned up to sound check, I looked at it and it was just double what I thought it was going to be, not just in size, but just in just the vibe and the architecture and stuff is amazing. So that's hopefully going to be one of our most important shows ever. And I don't know what else before that. Splendor.
Splendor, yeah. We've had a look. We're pretty lucky in that we're aware when good things are happening, and we can pinch ourselves and be like, dudes, this is another crazy moment. How good is this? And pat each other on the back and then keep on going.
Alright, so the Rubens being, majority of you Margin brothers. So how does it go being on the road, recording and traveling the world, being so close to your brothers? Like, seriously, if I was traveling the world writing music with my brother, I think there'd be a homicide every week. So what's your secret and how do you do it and overcome it and be a bloody awesome band at the end of the day?
I don't know. I think we get along fine. Like, as far as like brothers go, it's not even just brothers with bands, but in general, I think we get along. I'm sure we get on each other's nerves in some ways sometimes, but not enough to even.
Sound check in the concert hall has now concluded. Thank you.
Sound check is over. There you go. Thank you. But yeah, we get along pretty well, I think. Do you think?
I think so. I mean, I'd never think of the whole fact that we're brothers and how that would affect, us hanging out and spending time in a band. Like, growing up, you hang out with your brothers 24/7 anyway, so then when you join a band together and travel, it's no different. We're just used to hanging out and being friends, and then Scotty and Will obviously help break that up.
Thank God we've got them, honestly.
Without them, it would definitely get weird because, it just gets kind of like Hanson vibes or something almost, but then you got
There's
Scotty
nothing to
and
talk
Will
about. When there's us three, Zach and Elliot and I will end up together on tour, and we just sit there. Like, if we went for lunch or something, just us three, it would be so boring.
We've already said everything.
Yeah. So we are lucky we've got, like, the crew that we have who are all legends, and then the other two band members that make it.
Yeah.
There's just someone else to talk to, That's how we don't kill each other or, really get on each other's nerves, I think.
Oh, yeah. Also, if my brother ever does want to pick up a musical instrument and go on tour with me, make sure I've got someone else so I don't kill him. Pretty much. Yeah, nice. Okay, so you guys being in the time where the Australian music industry is pretty grueling and pretty hard to break into, and you guys are still riding the hype. What's been the biggest challenge for you and how you've overcome them all?
It's tough. I mean, well, we're lucky to have a lot of success in Australia and be able to play crazy venues like this, the Opera House. But overseas, we've still got a lot of work to do. So we'll be playing, tiny pubs or clubs when we go on this tour. We fly out tomorrow to LA and we're going to be playing small rooms, which is obviously very different to this. Playing the Sydney Opera House, it's crazy. But I'd say that's our biggest challenge. And most Australian bands' biggest challenge is breaking out of the Australian market and making, a viable kind of following, trying to get that following overseas as well. And that's what we're doing. And we enjoy it as well. We enjoy playing to small rooms and trying to win over fans and stuff in new cities. It's fun.
I think also just one of the hardest things that in our career has been trying to keep fans interested. And I think, like, even though we're really lucky that we got discovered in the first place and there's an awareness, there'll always be an awareness of our name. Doesn't mean that people are going to stick with you on your next record. And even if you have 3 successful records, 4, 5, you've still got to, like, win over the new youth. You know what I mean? Like, you make an album every 2 or 3 years, and that the new 18-year-old was 15, say, listening to a different radio station back when, you made your last album. So it's like you're trying to reach these new people every time. And that's challenging. Like, you're still not, like, we're never sure that it's a sure thing when we put something on radio, that people are going to like it. So although we're lucky to have, eyes on us in a certain way because we've done a few albums already, it's never a sure thing. So that's kind of like keeps you on your toes a bit. I wish it was, but it's not.
Right, well, okay, last year I interviewed Alex from Kingswood, and leading up to that, I read an interview where one of them really took the piss out of you, and I really didn't know whether they loved you or hated you. So, what I gotta know, what's the story with you guys and Kingswood?
You know what? I just don't like their music. So it's like, it's not that I don't like the people. Like they're lovely guys. They mean well.
They're so sweet.
They're so sweet, and I wish them all the success in the world, and hopefully they'll find that. But it's just something like just it's nothing against them. Their just music is just kind of like derivative and
It's just there. It's middle of the road, isn't it?
yeah. So Alex,
And
keep your
Fred,
chin up.
Yeah.
Stay chipper. And we love you guys, regardless. No matter what you do, it's kind of like what parents love for their child. Doesn't matter what you do, we'll be there supporting you.
Right. Well, because in the yeah, so that's right, Kingswood. If you're having a bad day, just if you need a shoulder to cry on, they're there as the parent figure for you. They love you no matter what. It's okay. Even if you go on a murderous rage spree, apparently. Got to say that again in the microphone, a bit louder.
Or worse, release another album. I'm sorry.
Because in the interview, it was something like, like one of you punched one of them or one of their managers or something, or they said something like, or you.
I reckon I think they're making stuff up. I think they're telling porcupines.
We know and love them. We hang out with them all the time. I don't know what they're. I've never read this interview, so I don't know what.
They are pretty funny though.
They're
Like
crafty.
they are crafty, and they do comment on our stuff, and they can be pretty dry. So they might have been taking you for a ride there.
Yeah, probably. Okay. Well, you guys, you must have some pretty hilarious stories and moments on your trip, because I mean, when I saw you at Taronga Zoo, blind pun intended, guys. When I saw you at Taronga Zoo last year, it was a pretty big show and very highly anticipated. But you guys were just having fun, and you even handed me a free bottle of champagne to get me rocking out at the front. Yeah. So you're just having a great time rocking out, connecting with your audiences. So in saying that, you must have some pretty priceless moments. What's the number one most hilarious WTF moment you guys can think of?
There's been some funny people. We played a show up in maybe like Rockhampton or somewhere, or like some Early Beach, or like I think it might have been like it was a kind of outdoor pub that they sort of truckloaded sand onto the ground so it was like a beach bar vibe. Probably 1,000 people or something there, and there was a support act. Who were they again? They were funny dudes, and they actually were really good. I wish I could like bleep in their name later because we'll look it up. But they were great. These surf rock guys that were really good, and they were playing. And you got it right. No, well they've Pandemic, yeah. So this band Pandemic were playing, and a girl got up on stage and went to stage dive back into the crowd, and the crowd just completely left her, and she just went straight through, no resistance, like just straight through the crowd and disappeared. And they had a filmer on tour filming them, so we went back and watched it before our show. Like everyone was like rewinding it and like watching it happen, and sort of laughing. She was okay, luckily, because there was sand on the ground. And then I don't think it was the same person, but someone who maybe had the same idea it was inspired by this girl. When we played, another girl came on stage, and it was like in slow motion. I was like, no, don't do it, and sort of like, please do it. And then this other girl jumped, and the same thing happened, so that was pretty funny. Just the fact that there was two people, that never happens at our shows, people stage diving, and two people just. That was.
I think it was last weekend or something. We played in Brisbane, and we played the Tivoli, and they've got a balcony, second floor balcony kind of thing. And one dude was stupid enough to climb up onto the railings that hang over the bottom, like the mosh pit, and shimmy himself out over the crowd and start just like dangling there over the crowd and start dancing and stuff. And it seemed like it was a cool thing. until like you realize this guy could actually kill himself or someone else below, and he was wasted as well. He was like off his head, and so he had to stop the show until he like. It was third song in, so it was like, wow, we hadn't even caught up to this guy's energy yet. He was way ahead of us. But then we had to stop the show until he came back across and got back to safety. He ended up getting arrested apparently, which was, I guess, a good message. You know, don't put anyone else in danger or yourself at a show. Have fun, but don't, you know, potentially kill people. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't see that coming if I just randomly had a someone just fall on top of me. No. Oh, no. Okay, well, I could sit here talking all day, but you guys are pretty busy and got to prepare for your epic show here at the Opera House. So I'll leave it with two more. Okay, so you're going to be recording and releasing album number 3 soon, and hopefully another tour. What is the rest of 2018 looking like, and what's kind of lurking around the corner behind the scenes?
We actually have a lot. We have so much that we can't tell you right now. You've asked us like maybe 3 weeks too early. We don't have a date yet for the album release, but it's really soon. We're talking a few months. But that's obviously the biggest thing in our world right now. Another song will be out, you know, in probably closer to a month-ish. And we're really excited about that. We might even play it tonight. And then, yeah, obviously, once the album comes out, we'll be looking at an album tour, which we're already looking at dates for, which will go to all the cities that we haven't been to and more recently. So that's really cool. And then we've got a huge other tour that we can't talk about either. But basically, the rest of this year as a band, it's looking like probably like pushing towards 100 shows. Whoa. Yeah. So there's lots. And yeah, sorry we can't tell you exactly what yet.
Sam, you're such a tease. Oh. Damn it. Righty, I'll have to get a couple more beers into you to, you know, unlock those secrets. But for now, we'll leave it with, what message do you have to your fans that you've inspired and, you know, keep coming to your shows or just followed you for years and, you know, want to follow in your footsteps?
Ooh, I reckon just to our general fans who have no intention of following in our footsteps, thank you, because this is mad and tonight's going to be special. And also thanks for coming to a show after we just gave you one song. That's all we've given you in 3 years. That's also really nice. So we'll give you something back, hopefully. To fans who want to do what we do, I would say what I've always said is just know that if you really try and you play live heaps and you make a lot of music and you upload it to things like SoundCloud and Triple J Unearthed, if you start having people come to your shows, that means that people like record labels and stuff, they know who you are. Places like Sydney and Melbourne and Adelaide, they're small cities. The music scene's small. You can get discovered and get, you know, people to your shows. Yeah, persistence. Yeah, people take notice if you work hard. That's for sure. So that's what I would say.
Oh man, you took the words right out of my mouth. Persistence, practice. Yeah, exactly.
We've only learned how to practice recently.
We took a long time to actually practice and get tight as a band, so that's a big message I would say. Practice as much as you can because people will be impressed by your live show, and you won't have to freak out too much and be too nervous before the show.
Wow. A lot of good advice and inspiration there. Thank you so much, guys. Oh, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you tonight. And I'm really keen to see you out on stage. People, give it up for the Rubens. Thanks so much, guys.